You can't escape the hype around AI coding assistants, right? I mean, they're supposed to build entire apps from just a single sentence. But what actually happens when a developer sits down with one of these things for the very first time? Well, the reality, it's a lot less like magic and way more interesting. So let's meet Timothy. He's a junior engineer, and he has just been introduced to his team's shiny new AI tool. And, well, he's not impressed. He was picturing something out of a sci-fi movie, but what he got was a plain old command line terminal. Luckily, his senior colleague, Margaret, is about to reset his expectations, and probably ours too. So what is this thing really? Margaret cuts right through the hype with this really clear, no-nonsense definition. It's not some magic wand. It's a command line assistant. A powerful one for sure. It can read your entire code base, it can write and edit files, it can even run your tests for you. But it's still a tool that lives and breathes right inside a developer's normal workflow. And this brings us right to our first big idea: the hype versus the terminal. This is where the real learning starts to happen. Now, Margaret makes this really subtle but super important distinction. She says the biggest mistake developers make is thinking the tool is there to do things for them. The right way to think about it, it does things with you. It's a partner. That one little word changes absolutely everything. So let's really dig into that for a second, because understanding this shift from for you to with you is honestly the entire key to unlocking what these AI tools can really do. Margaret uses this perfect metaphor for the wrong approach. She calls it the vending machine mindset. You pop a prompt in like a coin, a little chunk of code comes out like a snack, and you just walk away. She's crystal clear about this. For any task that has any real complexity, that mindset is just a recipe for disaster. And this slide just lays it all out, side by side. It's perfect. On the one hand, you have the vending machine. The input is just a simple prompt. The output is supposed to be a final solution. And the goal? Just get the code fast. But on the other side, you've got the collaborator. Here, the input is your prompt plus your own judgment. The output isn't a final solution. It's a starting point, something for you to review. And the goal isn't just raw speed. It's about accelerating thoughtful, high-quality work. So, if it's not a vending machine, then what is it? Well, the tool's real job isn't to replace you. It's to act as an amplifier for your own mind. Okay, so at this point, Timothy's starting to get it. He's getting excited again. He sees the potential. And he asks the question that, let's be honest, we're all thinking. After all that, is this tool really as good as everyone says it is? And Margaret's answer here is just perfect. It's the core idea of this whole thing. She says, it is as good as you are. The tool's power isn't in a vacuum. It's a direct reflection of the skill and the thought that you bring to it. So what does it amplify exactly? Well, it takes all the stuff that already makes you a great engineer, and it just cranks it up to 11. It amplifies your clarity of thought. It amplifies your ability to use precise language. If you have a real, deep understanding of the problem you're trying to solve, it will amplify that understanding. It basically takes the engineering judgment you've already built and gives it superpowers. But here's the catch. Amplification is a double-edged sword, and this is the critical warning. If you come to it with vague ideas or muddled thinking, the AI is not going to magically fix it for you. Oh no. Instead, it will produce what Margaret calls confident nonsense, and it will do it at a speed you can't even imagine. It's garbage in, garbage out, just, dressed up really nicely. So naturally, this brings up a huge question for developers. If the AI is cranking out the code, what's left for the human to do? Well, your new job is judgment. And yep, Timothy asks it point blank, saying what a lot of people are probably thinking. If this thing can do all of this, what is my job anymore? Margaret's answer is that your job basically evolves. It becomes all about that high-level judgment. Your first job is to decide, what are we building, and even more critically, why are we building it? Then you have to review every single line of code the AI produces. You have to be able to understand it and defend it. Third, you verify its work, because you're the one who has to catch those subtle bugs that look right but are actually wrong. And finally, you iterate, guiding the AI with smarter and more insightful questions each time. This next line from her just sums up the new deal between engineer and AI perfectly. The tool handles a huge amount of the implementation, but you handle all of the responsibility. The buck still stops with you 100%. So, Where does the real work actually begin now? In this last part, we're going to see that it all starts way before you even think about typing a prompt. It's so easy to get caught up in this idea of prompt engineering, right? Like, if you just find the magic words, you'll get magic results. But Margaret points out that that's a really shallow way to look at it. A beautifully worded prompt that's based on confused, muddled thinking is only going to give you beautifully worded, muddled results. So, Margaret's first task for Timothy isn't go write me a prompt. Not at all. It's just simply describe, in plain English, a real problem that he's currently working on. Because that act of clearly articulating the problem, that's the real work now. The quality of your thinking is the true starting point for both you and your AI collaborator. And really, that's what it all boils down to, isn't it? The world is changing. These tools are here, and they're going to handle a massive part of the implementation, the actual typing of the code. But all of the responsibility for the quality, for the security, for the correctness of that code, that now falls squarely on human judgment. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you ready for that shift?